And because it's a long topic, I just managed to finish it with the girls. So hopefully we can finish it with the boys. Okay? Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Today we are studying Al-Jinn. Al-Jinn. Now, first and foremost, the jinn are from the unseen. And Allah told us that we have to believe in the unseen. Allah said, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. Allah described the believers and He said that they are the ones who يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. They believe in the unseen. A couple of verses later, Allah described these people. He said, أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Allah said, the ones who believe in the unseen, they are the ones who are guided. They are really the real believers. And they are successful. They're going to be successful in the next life. They're going to go to Al-Jannah. Which means a person who does not believe in the unseen will not be guided and he will not be successful. He will not go to paradise. He'll be a disbeliever. So the things that Allah Azza wa Jal has told us that are from the unseen, if we disbelieve in them, then we don't just disbelieve in that thing. You disbelieve in Allah completely. You disbelieve in Islam completely. Why? Because Allah said, تَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ صِدْقًا وَعَدْلًا. Allah said, Allah has completed the Quran in truth and justice. Meaning everything Allah told you to do was just. And everything He informed you, every news He gave you, every story He told you is true. And if you disbelieve in it, whether it be Al-Jannah you disbelieve in, whether it be Jahannam, the hellfire, whether it be about the Day of Judgment, whether it be the punishment of the grave, whether it be a story of the prophets, whether it be Dajjal, or whether it be about the jinn, if you disbelieve anything that Allah or the Prophet ﷺ told you, it's kufr. It can lead to kufr. It can take you to kufr. Does that make sense? Question. But then one will say to you, but how can I believe something I cannot see? They will say seeing is believing, is it not? How do you respond to that? I'm talking to you, mate. I know, but let's say you're talking to a non-Muslim, you're talking to an atheist. He says, how can I believe in the unseen? How can I believe in God? I can't see God, I can't see the jinn.
You could tell them about the verses in the Quran.
Good. Tell them about the verses of the Quran. Very good. That's the best thing to do, Allah Barik. But how do you explain these verses to them? You make a point here. And you can make a point like this. You ask them a very simple question. You say, are you telling me that everything you believe, that you've seen it? And what will they tell you?
Yes.
They'll say yes, right?
Yes.
I say, okay, but can you see love? Can you see love? Oh, but do you believe in love? They'll say yes. Okay, but you believe in something you can't see then. Can you see sadness? I'm asking you, can you see sadness? You might... what if someone says, I can see people crying? What will you say to that? I'll say a person can cry because they're sad, a person can cry because they're in pain, a person can cry out of happiness. You don't see them, when you see a person crying, all you see is that they're crying. You don't know why they're crying. They're crying because they're sad, but can you see that? Okay, another question. Do you believe in China? Who here believes in China? Has anyone here ever been to China? But does China exist? Why? Why do you believe in it? So you believe in something that you haven't seen? Okay, but then what if you say, but someone has seen China? Someone who went to China, he showed it to me, he told me I've been to China, or he took a picture. I said, no problem. I said, Allah has seen the jinn. Allah created them and He told us that the jinn exist. Smack down. Does that make sense? So we learn from this two things. Number one, just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I'll give an example. Can I see your thoughts? But are you thinking? So should I now say, oh, because I cannot see your thoughts, I don't believe you think? You're actually dead and you don't think. Can I say that? No, because sight is not the only way to prove something to be true. Does that make sense? One of the ways that you can believe in something that you haven't seen is if someone trustworthy tells you this is true. Because maybe they've seen it. Allah is the most trustworthy because Allah said, I completed my words in truth. Truth. Allah doesn't lie. And Allah said the jinn exist. And Allah told you all these stories. So you have no excuse but to accept, and you can't say, oh, the fact I cannot see is not a proof, because if that's the case, then everything that you cannot see, you have to disbelieve in it. Every country you've never been to, you have to disbelieve in it. Every historical figure that you've read about, that you've never seen or met, you have to disbelieve in them. Every emotion that I cannot see, you have to disbelieve in it. Every person who thinks, you have to believe no one he thinks, because you can't see their thoughts. And that would be what? Stupidity. Is it not? There you go. Okay, so now we know that the unseen is something that we must believe in, and the jinn are from what? Unseen. Okay, good. Now, the unseen is something that we cannot talk about from our logic. And it's not something that we can research based on our human faculties. The unseen is something that we need Quran and Sunnah to talk to us about. The Quran and the Sunnah has to talk to us, has to tell us. Does that make sense? So if you want to talk about the jinn, you cannot talk about the jinn except through an ayah from the Quran or a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ. You want to talk about the angels, you cannot tell me anything about the angels unless you back it up with an ayah from the Quran or what? A hadith from the Prophet ﷺ. You want to talk about the Day of Judgment, you want to talk about the prophets, you cannot talk about these things except without Quranic or prophetic evidence. Does that make sense? So everything I give you today will be based on the Quran and Sunnah. Good. Now inshallah ta'ala, let's go into the jinn. First and foremost, who created the jinn? What were they created for? And when were they created? Allah said, وَالْجَانَّ خَلَقْنَاهُ مِنْ قَبْلُ مِنْ نَارِ السَّمُومِ. Allah said, and we created the jinn. Who? Allah. Number one. When did He create them? مِنْ قَبْلُ. He created them before He created the humans. What did He make them from? مِنْ نَارِ السَّمُومِ. From a smokeless fire. So the jinn are made from? Fire. That's what they're made from. What are the angels made from? Light. What are the humans made from? The clay. Does that make sense? Good. Now, if Allah created the jinn, He created them, He chose a purpose for why He created them. And why did He create them? He said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah said, I did not create the jinn for any reason except for worshipping me. Allah said the jinn have to worship me, and the humans have to worship me. The only reason I created the human and the jinn, so that they can be my slaves, so they can worship me. So now you know that the jinn have to pray, the jinn have to worship Allah, they have to do ibadah, right? Does that make sense? Question, why is it that the humans and the jinn were created with the objective and the intention to worship Allah? And we find that the humans and the jinn, they have to worship Allah. And if they worship Allah, they're going to go to Al-Jannah. And if they disobey Allah, they're going to go to the hellfire. But why is it the lions weren't chosen to worship Allah like that? And why is it the birds were not chosen to worship Allah like that? Why? The jinn have something that the humans have. And because the jinn and the humans share this, the jinn have to worship Allah the same way the humans have to worship Allah. Go on. Free will is one. Lovely. Lovely. I love it. That's one. Humans have free will, and the jinn also have free will. There's two more things. Go on.
Don't animals have free will as well?
But the animals don't have all of these three.
Okay.
I'm going to give you three things. Okay? Free will, number one. Mind, intelligence, exactly, aql. The animals, do they have aql? They don't have aql. They do not have a mind, they don't have intellect. Animals do not have intelligence like that. They have their own systems, but they don't have human rationale. Does that make sense? But the jinn, they have rationale. They have aql. They have intellect. And the last thing, qudra, ability. The ability to worship. Okay? So these are three things. An animal might have one of them. An animal might have two of them. But it doesn't have all three. It doesn't have all three. Okay? And there's an ayah from the Quran that shows that the jinn, they have this kind of aql, as in they think, they have free will, they respond, they choose to respond, they have ability, they speak to each other. So I'm going to mention the ayah, and then inshallah ta'ala you can see, and we'll take some things about the jinn. Allah said, وَإِذْ صَرَفْنَا إِلَيْكَ نَفَرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقُرْآنِ. Allah Azza wa Jal, He said that there was a group of jinn, and what do? That they heard the Prophet reciting the Quran. وَإِذْ صَرَفْنَا إِلَيْكَ نَفَرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقُرْآنِ. They were listening to the Quran. When they heard the Quran, what do they say? فَلَمَّا حَضَرُوهُ قَالُوا أَنصِتُوا. When they sat and they listened and they were paying attention to the Quran, they told the other jinn, they said, be quiet, be quiet. Don't talk. Why? Because they wanted to listen and pay attention. فَلَمَّا قُضِيَ وَلَّوْا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِمْ مُنذِرِينَ. And then after they had the Quran, they went back to their people. They went back to their nation. So they have nations. They have people. They have tribes. And what did they say? They came to warn them. What did they warn them about? They said, Ya qawmana, O our people. Inna sami'na kitaban unzila min ba'di Musa. They said, my people, our people, we have just heard a Quran. We have just heard something. We have heard a book, that Allah has sent down. And He sent it down after the book of Musa. So they understood the other prophets. The jinn also followed the other prophets. And what was the book given to Musa? What was the book given to Musa? The 10 Commandments were in it. What was the book? The Torah, right? The Torah was given to Musa alayhi salam. So they knew about the Torah. They followed the Torah. So I'm trying to show you that the jinns have religion here. They have religion here and they follow prophets, right? And then they said, what did they say? They said, قَوْمَنَا أَجِيبُ دَاءِيَ اللَّهِ وَآمِنُوا بِهِ يَغْفِرْ لَكُم مِّن ذُنُوبِكُمْ وَيُجِرْكُم مِّنْ عَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. They said, oh my people, oh our people. They said, respond to the call of the messenger. Follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Follow him. What? Allah will forgive you for your sins. So what happens? The jinns, they commit sins now. They commit sins. So the jinns can do right, and the jinn can do wrong. And the jinn can ask for forgiveness, the same way. So they have free will, because they choose to do the sin. Right? Not just that, we said, وَيُجِرْكُم مِّنْ عَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. And then you will be, if you respond to the messenger, Allah will forgive your sin, and He will save you from a tormenting punishment, from a painful punishment. So one of the jinn can be punished as well. Question, the jinn are made from what? And the hellfire burns you with what? So how can something made from fire be punished with something with fire?
The hellfire is different from...
There's two ways to answer it, maybe more, but I'll mention two. One is that the fire in the hell is way hotter than the fire that the jinn are made out of. Even the fire on this earth, the hellfire is 69 times hotter than the fire on this earth. The fire on this earth is so weak compared to the hellfire that Mujahid ibn Jabr rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentioned based on an ayah in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, that the fire in this life, it asks Allah to protect it from the hellfire. That little flame that burns in this world, that would burn our skin off, it actually says, Allah, I seek protection in you from the fire of hell. It's scared of the hellfire. Does that make sense? That's one way to answer it. Another way to answer it is that, what's my hand made out of? What's your hand made out of? Okay, same thing, right? But if you come and you slap me, will it hurt me? No, because I'm stronger than you. But if I was weak, it would hurt me, right? I'm joking, some of you look strong. When I said that, some of you took it offensively, huh? Your alpha male is kicking in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that, mate. If you slap me, it would hurt me, right? It would hurt me. The point here is that, but can I say, oh, but you're made from the same thing I'm made from? It doesn't matter. Even if you're made from the same thing I'm made from, it doesn't mean that it can't cause you pain. And we know that because we can inflict harm from each other and we're made from the exact same thing. Does that make sense? Good. Now, are the jinn Muslim? Are they Muslim jinn?
Yes.
What's your evidence? You can't speak without evidence. We said we're just talking about the unseen. You have to give evidence, mate. Have to give evidence. Quran, Sunnah. Go on.
They got the Quran the same reason.
So that, you could say that ayah is proof because those jinn in that ayah, they responded. But another one is very clear. In Surah Al-Jinn, Allah said that the jinn, they say, وَأَنَّا مِنَّا الْمُسْلِمُونَ وَمِنَّا الْقَاسِطُونَ. They say, from amongst us are the ones who are Muslims, and from amongst there are those who are unjust. So some of the jinn are Muslim, and some of the jinn are disbelievers. Some of the jinn are actually Hindu. Some of the jinn are Christian. Sometimes, do you know what ruqya is? You know what ruqya is?
No.
Huh? So sometimes ruqya is when someone's possessed. Someone's got a jinn inside of him, and a person comes and he reads the Quran on him, so that Allah can give this person shifa. The shifa comes from Allah, not the one reading the Quran. It comes from Allah. But the way you get it is by reading the Quran. So sometimes there's a person who's got a jinn inside of him, and I'll come and I'll do ruqya. And sometimes the jinn will talk, and it will be a Christian jinn. Sometimes it's a jinn that worships Iblis. He prays to Iblis. وَلِيَعْذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. Sometimes it will be a Chinese jinn. I'm being serious. And these are from the things that prove the jinn. Because sometimes you see this guy, he's from the UK, he doesn't know any other language except for English, or maybe he's Pakistani, so he knows Urdu, or he's Bengali, knows Bengali, or whatever have you, right? But suddenly you start doing ruqya on him, he starts speaking Chinese. But where did you learn Chinese from? Because the jinn inside of him, he's a Chinese jinn. You think this is funny?
No, I saw this in the news.
You saw it in the news?
Yeah, this guy, out of nowhere, he was in a coma.
Yeah.
And then a week after, as soon as he woke up, he just started speaking Spanish.
There you go, look at that.
He
And
never
you see,
done any Spanish test.
that's very powerful because recently there's studies on this now. You see what you just said? Recently there's studies that they've seen people who don't speak any other language and suddenly they just start speaking Spanish or they start speaking French or they start speaking a different language and they're like, wait, this person does not know this language. How is he speaking it? So now there is a field of psychology which is called parapsychology. And parapsychology investigates all these things. For example, you have cases where like a woman will lift up an entire car and flip it over. She doesn't have the physical strength to do it. If you search parapsychology, it's a proper science now. They study it as science. And they'll make it seem like, oh, we're stupid, we don't know what we're talking about. But why you turned it into a science, mate? Idiot, studying it in university and writing papers on it. If it's stupid, then why would you do that? That's because it's true. Sometimes people don't have explanations for some things, and because they want to justify it always scientifically, they just say, oh, schizophrenia. No, it's not necessarily schizophrenia. It could be jinn. Does that make sense? Good. So the point here is that from the jinn there are Muslims, and from the jinn there are those who are non-Muslims. I'll come to you, inshallah ta'ala. Go and ask it.
Where do jinn also live on this planet?
Yes, they live on the earth. We're going to come to it. The jinn, they live. There could be jinn right here. There could be jinn sitting right next to you. Honestly. Assalamu alaikum to all of humans and jinn. They could be here. There's jinn in the toilets. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. The Prophet said, every time you go to the toilet, you say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from the evil jinn, man jinn and the evil female jinn.
So we can't touch jinn and jinn can't touch us?
They can touch you. But you can't touch them. Come to it. We're going to come to it.
Does it describe like what happens if someone's possessed by it?
Yeah, we're going to come to it. Yeah, we're going to come to it. We're going to come to it, inshallah ta'ala. So, pay attention, yeah? Now, the jinn are hidden from us under normal circumstances. What's the evidence for them? For this? Allah Azza wa Jalla said, إِنَّهُ يَرَاكُمْ هُوَ وَقَبِيلُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُم. Allah said that shaitan and his tribe of jinn, his tribe of evil jinn. Because remember, the jinn are good and they can be bad, right? So the ones that are shaitans, his tribe of jinn, what is it? Allah said they can see you. مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُم. From a place that you cannot see them. So they are able to see you. You are visible to them, but they cannot see you. Does that make sense? Now, if they can't see you, is that scary? Is that scary? No. Because if they could see you, people think that they should be scared of things, or people generally are scared of things that they can't see. What that means is that you think if you could see it, you'd be able to protect yourself, right? Am I lying? But the thing is, what if you don't have the ability to protect yourself? Whether you could see it or whether you can't see it, you don't have the ability to protect yourself. Then does it matter that you can't see them? Because even if you could see them, you wouldn't be able to protect yourself. So then how do you protect yourself? You get the one who has the ability to protect you. Who's that? Allah. So whether I can see the jinn, or whether I cannot see the jinn, I'm chilling. Why? Because Allah's going to protect me, inshallah. And I know that they can never come near to me if Allah protects me. Unless Allah chooses to not protect me anymore. And that's why, my brothers, every time you go to the toilet, you must read the dua. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith. A lot of people go to the toilet and they get possessed. Look, in the toilet, you get possessed, man. The jinn attack you. And you don't realize that you went into a toilet and now there's a jinn inside of you. I'm not saying it happened to everyone, but it happens to a lot. It happens to a lot of people. Not just that, you know when you come to your house, and you're about to enter your door, you know there's a jinn standing outside your door. It's a shaitan. Not even normal, it's a shaitan standing right there. And if you say Bismillah when you go into your house, the shaitan says, we don't have anywhere to stay tonight. But if you don't say Bismillah, the shaitan says, we got a place to stay tonight. And he comes in and he eats your food. Does that make sense? So you have to protect yourself. You have to do what? When you enter the house, you say Bismillah. Not just that, at night, at Maghrib time, what did the Prophet ﷺ say? At Maghrib time, what does the shaitan do? He spreads out. and he snatches people. At Maghrib time, because it gets dark now. Because the darkness is when shaitan does what? When shaitan comes out. And that's why at Maghrib time, what did the Prophet teach you to read after Maghrib Salah? قل هو الله أحد قل أعوذ sorry the Ma'abud say قل أعوذ برب الفلق and قل أعوذ برب الناس 3 times. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. Protection from shaitan and evil and magic. So brothers, you have to read these things, because whether you could see them or not, you are not safe unless Allah protects you. Like, and if you ask Allah's help and Allah said, I will always respond to the call of the one who calls me, then Allah is going to protect you, and they can't touch you, and they can't come close to you, and they cannot harm you. Does that make sense? But I want to ask you a question now. What kind of people is it who Allah Jalla wa Ala will help and save? Who are the kind of people that Allah will save? Is it the ones who are good or the ones who are bad? The ones who are good or the ones who are bad? Look at this ayah what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. I want to show you this ayah. Look at this ayah. Because some people, they go outside the house and they what? They go to visit a girl. He's going to link a girl. And he says, oh Allah, protect me when I leave the house. Some person, he goes out the house and he's doing what? He's listening to music as he walks outside the house. Okay? And while he's listening to music, he thinks Allah he says, Allah protect me. Does that make sense? Some person disobeying his parents. And he says what? He says, Allah, he said, protect me. Does that make sense? Allah doesn't protect these kind of people. He will not protect them. You know why? Because they don't fear Allah. And they're not good people. And they don't deserve to be protected. And that's why Allah said in the Quran, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا إِذَا مَسَّهُمْ طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الشَّيْطَانِ تَذَكَّرُوا فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْصِرُونَ. Allah said that the ones who Allah helps that when shaitan comes to harm them, is the ones who what? They remember Allah. But the sinner can remember Allah, and the good one can remember Allah. The difference here, Allah said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا, the one who fears Allah. If you fear Allah, and you say, Allah protect me. If you fear Allah and you say, Allah save me, I'm going to go into the toilet, Allah don't let them harm me. When you go to sleep at night, and you don't want shaitan to come to you, and you read Ayatul Kursi, and shaitan's going to run away inshallah from you. When you read Ayatul Kursi, and you'll be safe all night, okay? This is not just for anyone. Allah said this is for what? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا, the ones who have taqwa, who fear Allah. They don't do sins. They don't. Okay, every now and again you might make a mistake, no problem. But you repent from the mistake. When you make it, you go back to Allah Azza wa Jal. Like, and if you don't repent from your mistake, ya ikhwatul kiram, then what will happen? You do not have protection from Allah. And can I tell you, honestly, from one of the things that will destroy you, my brothers, and that was one of the main reasons for the shaitan to possess you, is for haram relationships, talking to girls and doing haram with girls, which I'll talk to you more about as we progress, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Go on.
Didn't Allah also say in the Quran that He'll only protect mu'mins? He said that.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Through these verses we understand that. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay, good. So, inshallah ta'ala, another point is that are the humans and the jinn and the angels different? Are the jinn different to the angels? Some people think the jinn and the angels are the same thing. No, they're different. The proof for this is that Allah made the angels from nur, from light. He made the jinn from the fire, and made the humans from what we know the humans are made from. Okay? Now I want to ask you a question, okay? Now question, is Iblis a jinn or is he an angel? What's the proof? Allah said in the Quran, كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ Iblis كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ. Iblis was a jinn. He was a jinn, okay? So Iblis was a jinn, right? But then why is it in another ayah Allah referred to Iblis with the angels? Why did he do that? Allah said, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ. Allah said, pay attention to the ayah so you understand. Allah said that the angels were there and Adam was there. And Allah told the angels, إِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ. All of you, make sajda to Adam. And Allah said, فَسَجَدُوا. All of the angels made sajda to Adam. إِلَّا Iblis, except for Iblis. But Iblis is not an angel. So why did Allah say, all of the angels made sajda to Adam, except for Iblis? I thought Iblis is not an angel, so why is Allah saying, except for Iblis? Why is He saying that? Why is Iblis here being referred to as an angel? I'm going to tell you why. And I want you to pay attention, because this is a way that you can, inshallah, have a status of an angel. Would you not like to have a status of an angel? Who would not like to have a status of an angel? Would you like to have the status of an angel?
Yeah.
This is how you do it, inshallah. Firstly, understand something. The angels, they don't disobey Allah. Allah said about them, لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. They do not disobey any command that Allah Azza, they don't disobey Allah Azza wa Jal, and they do what Allah tells them to do. Allah said, يسبحون الليل والنهار. They praise Allah. They do tasbih all day, all night. Angels don't disobey Allah. In fact, some of the angels, from the moment that they are born, from the moment that the angels are born, what do? They do nothing except for sajda. Created, from the moment Allah created some angels, they've been in sajda from the beginning to the end. So the angels don't disobey. Does that make sense? Do the angels disobey? The angels do not disobey. So now, if you start to obey Allah and you stop disobeying Him, who have you become similar to? Angels. So Iblis at this time, he was obedient to Allah. He didn't disobey Allah. And because he was obedient, Allah referred to him with the angels. The moment he started to be disobedient, Allah said, كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ. He was a jinn. Does that make sense? Now the same way with the humans, the scholars took a powerful benefit. They said the human can be like the angels if he obeys Allah. But if a human being disobeys Allah, he can drop lower than a human, he can drop to an animal, he can even become worse than an animal. About the people who turn away from Allah, what did Allah say? أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. Allah said they are like the cows and the sheep. They're like the cattle. Allah said بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. Allah said rather they are worse than the cows. They are worse than the cattle. So a human being, human is in the middle, right? If he obeys Allah, he can have the station of an angel. Like, and if he disobeys Allah, he can drop to lower than a cow. And it's all based on how obedient or disobedient he is to Allah. And what I find here is so beautiful that my brother, listen, pay attention here. Even if you obeyed Allah and you became the status of an angel, do you obey Allah the way the angels obey? The angels never disobeyed. And Allah said, يُسَبِّحُونَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارِ. They do tasbih all day and night. Allah said, the Prophet explained, some of the angels have been in sajda from the moment they were created until the day of judgment. They never lifted their head up once. They've been in sajda to Allah. So they are worshipping Allah more than us. Lakin, if you start to obey Allah, you will be able to have the same rank and station as them. How beautiful is that from Allah? How merciful is that? Allah will give you the angel station, angel status, even though you didn't have to do what the angels did. And that is how lovely Allah is. You're dying to ask a question, aren't you? Go ahead.
So when you die, you see the angels of death.
Yeah, 100%. The moment.
Yeah. Could you see jinn as well?
The jinn, you will see them. I don't know when you see the jinn. You can't see the jinn in this life. No, you can't.
No, when you're about to die.
No, you only see the angels. I'm going to come to it in a second. Sometimes you see them in a different form. We'll come to that inshallah. Okay? So now question is, do all of the jinn come from Iblis? Is Iblis the dad of the jinn? Huh? No. Why? Because Allah said, كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ. Allah said Iblis was from the jinn. He didn't say that the jinn were from Iblis. Does that make sense? Okay? Does Iblis have children? Does Iblis have children? He does. Iblis has kids. Iblis has kids. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, أَفَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِن دُونِي وَهُمْ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ. Allah said, are you going to take Iblis and his offspring, his children, as friends instead of Allah? And Iblis is an enemy to you? And his children are enemies to you? Does that make sense? And his kids have kids and his kids have kids. Does that make sense? So Iblis has children. Does that make sense? Okay, question. Who's higher? The humans are higher or the jinn are higher? Who's better? Are they equal? The humans are better. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah said, we honored the children of Adam. We have been honored. So inshallah ta'ala, we are what? We are better than them. Can the jinn shape shift? Yes, they can. Okay? The jinn can become like a dog. The jinn can become a snake. The jinn can become a scorpion. Okay? The jinn can come in a scary face. You know, sometimes, you have this concept of Bigfoot. and the boogeyman. What is it? Every community, every culture, whether you're in the Arab world, whether you're in Morocco, whether you're in Saudi Arabia, whether you're in South America, whether you're in Bangladesh, whether you're in China, everyone has a concept of a scary creature that comes. Japan, they have it. Mexico, they have it. Every culture has a concept of a scary creature that comes and it attacks people and it scares people. These are jinn. They come, they shape into a very, they become a very like scary image. Does that make sense? So, and the jinn can even come in the form of a human, sometimes to misguide you and to mislead you, as they did at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Go on.
Isn't it you can see the jinn in the shape-shift form, but not in the original form?
Yes, so that's the point there, barakallahu feek. You can see the jinn when he takes a shape that is not his original shape. But the jinn's original shape, you can't ever see it. You cannot see the jinn in its original shape. Does that make sense?
Even when you die.
Say that again, sorry?
Even when you die. Like on the day of judgment.
Allah alam. Maybe I can't speak about the unseen without evidence. So I have to say, I don't know. But if you heard an ayah or hadith, you can share it with me, inshallah. Okay? Now, question. Just quickly, I want to go through some stuff. The different names of the jinn and the different types of jinn. Okay? So, Ibn Abdul Bar mentions this and other scholars. When you say jinni, you're referring to one jinn. When you say jinni, you're referring to just any one jinn. It could be good, it could be bad. Okay? When you say Amir, Amir is a jinn that lives with the humans. Okay? Amir is a jinn that lives with the humans. Okay? Arwah is a jinn that comes and scares little kids. Have you heard sometimes kids, they say, oh, I saw something scary. Mommy, please. Have you heard it before? You seen it? Oh, Mom, I saw something. Please. That's arwah.
Like the bed monster.
Like the bed monster kind of thing, yeah. Yeah. So it could be a jinn. Does that make sense? Okay? Then, if the jinn becomes evil, then we call him a shaitan. Now, if he's a really, really evil jinn, he's worse than a shaitan, we call him marid. If he's even worse than a marid, we call him ifrit. Ifrit is an evil, corrupted jinn. Does that make sense? Yeah? Have you heard, they talk about these spooky things, they call them ghouls. Have you heard of a ghoul?
Yeah.
Ghoul comes from the Arabic word ghoul. Ghoul. They took it from Arabic. Okay? Ghoul are the type of jinn that snatch a person and they take him away, they make him disappear for a bit. Sometimes you hear someone disappeared. Right? The jinn, they took him. And there's an authentic narration that Imam al-Bayhaqi narrates in his Sunan, in which it mentioned at the time of Umar. You know Umar ibn Khattab? Who knows Umar? You know Umar, right? Who's Umar? Huh? Well, you youngers don't know Umar though? Who's Umar? Who's Umar? Let me say it like a Pakistani. Who's Umar? Have you heard of Umar? Do you guys really not know who Umar is? You know Umar, right?
I heard of it.
Yeah, the Prophet's... Yeah. Him and Abu Bakr were the Prophet's best friends. And they were the two Khalifas of the Muslims. You knew it, right? You have to know these things, okay? So at the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, there was a woman and her husband disappeared. Her husband disappeared. So obviously, she got, she wanted to get married now, isn't it, again? Because she's like, where's my husband gone? He's disappeared. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years went past. Umar said, wait. He might come back. 4 years went by. Umar said, this is now not nice. The woman's lonely. There's no one there. He said to her, okay, now you can get married. Now you can get married. What happened? As soon as she got married, who turns up? Her husband turns up. And the husband turns up. She says, yo, mate, you got some explaining to do. Where you been for the last 4 years? He said, basically, I was out and a group of jinn, they took me. And when they took me, they held me captive until Allah made the jinns fight against each other, and then another group of jinn took over, and then they released me. So it happens. Does that make sense? Also the hadith, the Prophet mentioned at the time of Maghrib, the Prophet mentioned at the time of Maghrib, the shayateen, they come out, and what do? They grab. That's what the Prophet said, keep your children inside, and close the windows, close the doors. At Maghrib time, don't let the kids just wander. Because the shayateen, they come and they grab. These ones are called ghul. Does that make sense? Also, the sa'ali are the jinn who do magic. The jinn who do magic. Does that make sense? And remember, a person cannot do magic except through help with the jinn. And magic is kufr, because they make you worship the jinn. Firstly, they make you to throw the book of Allah, to toss it behind your back. And then what? وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينَ. You follow the devils. And then what happens? Then you become a kafir. You disbelieve, and then you can do magic on people. So sihr, magic, is kufr. Does that make sense? You've got to stay away from it. Question, do the humans interact with the jinn? Do the humans interact with the jinn? Do the jinn interact with the humans? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Look what Allah Azza wa Jalla said. وَيَوْمَ يَحْشُرُهُمْ جَمِيعًا. Allah said, on the day of judgment, we'll gather everyone together. Allah said, it will be said, يَا مَعْشَرَ الْجِنِّ. O jinn, it will be said to them, قَدْ اسْتَكْثَرْتُم مِّنَ الْإِنسِ. That you have engaged and interacted with the mankind, with the humankind a lot. You've gone and you've encountered with them a lot. Sometimes the jinn, they possess the human. Sometimes they misguide the human. Sometimes they destroy the human's life. Sometimes the evil jinn work with the humans for evil. They inspire them, and sometimes you hear the songs that people put out in the movies, and it's the jinn that are inspiring them, these filthy things. So the jinn are working with the humans to do these evil things. Does that make sense? So then Allah said, وَقَوْلَ أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمْ مِنَ الْإِنسِ. Then the human beings who were the friends of the jinn, the humans will say, رَبَّنِ اسْتَمْتَعَ. They will say, our Lord, we use them. رَبَّنِ اسْتَمْتَعَ بَعْضُنَا بِبَعْضٍ. Allah, we used them and they used us. As in we both. The jinn came to us and we even went to the jinn. Does that make sense? Now, pay attention. Some of the scholars said istimta' here, when they're using, as in the relationship between the humans and the jinn, they said this was an evidence to say that sometimes the people would get married to the jinn. Sometimes humans would get married to the jinn. I'm not telling you to get married to a jinn. You don't marry a jinn, do you? Okay. Just saying, some of the scholars use this ayah as a proof to say, because istimta' here, they said it can mean marriage. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So now here we know that the jinn and the humans, they definitely did interact. Does that make sense? But what I want to talk to you about is, and should you interact with the jinn? No. Some people, by interacting with the jinn, they become disbelievers. Because when you ask help from someone that you cannot see, who is not present, this is kufr billahi azza wa jal. Like when you ask help for someone who's dead. Can a dead person hear you? No. Can a person who's asleep hear you? No. But he's alive. So how can a dead person hear you? But if you believe a dead person can hear you, this is shirk. Not just that. Can you see the jinn? No. Are they present? Yeah. You don't know. So you call upon them, now you're doing shirk. The only one that you can call upon who you cannot see is Allah. If you call upon anyone who you cannot see other than Allah, then this is shirk, this is kufr, and the person will leave the fold of Islam. Does that make sense? So now, pay attention, okay? I want to mention to you, just put your hands down for 1 second. I'm going to come to all your questions inshallah ta'ala, but I want to talk to you about the time when the humans started to interact with the jinn, and the time when the human beings became scared of the jinn. And the time and the point at which the jinn started to do what? They started to scare the human beings. Because it didn't always happen like that. Are you listening to me? It didn't always happen like that. Okay? There's a story that Ikrimah, who was a student of the Prophet's companions, he mentioned. And then he explained an ayah in the Quran through this story. Do you want to hear the story? Okay. He said, كان الجن يفرقون من الإنس كما يقرف الإنس منهم أو أشد. He said, back in the days, the jinn used to be scared of the humans. And if the humans would come, the jinn would run away from the humans. The same way the humans would now, they run away from the jinn. If I told you, hey, it's a jinn, what are you going to do? But they run away, they get scared, right? He said, back in the days, the jinn would run away if they heard, oh my God, there's a human coming. They would run. He said, rather, ashad, they would be even more scared of the humans than we are of the jinn. How are people, the way that the humans are scared of the jinn, are they quite scared? He said, the jinn used to be even more scared of the humans, okay? وَكَانَ الْإِنسُ إِذَا نَزَلُوا وَادِيًا حَرَبَ الْجِنِّ. If there was a valley in which the jinn they were living, they were doing their thing, and the humans came and they walked by the valley, what would the jinn do? Harabu. They would run as if they're fleeing away from an enemy at war, running away, so scared. Oh my God, humans are coming. Okay? And then what happened? فَيَقُولُ سَيِّدُ الْقَوْمِ. One day what happened though? One stupid human, you know what he did? He gave the jinn the strength. When he came to the valley, what did he do? He thought the jinn was special. So he said, نعوذ بسيدي أهل هذا الوادي. He said, I'm seeking protection in the chief of the people in this valley. Who are the ones in the valley? The jinn. So who's he asking protection from? He's asking protection from the jinn. When he said, نعوذ بسيدي أهل هذا الوادي. He said, he said, I'm seeking protection in the master of the jinn. But we say, na'udhu bi. What do you say? We say, a'udhu bi. A'udhu billah. A'udhu means what? A'udhu means I seek refuge. I seek protection. When you say, a'udhu billah, you say, Allah protect me. Min ash-shaytan ar-rajim. Or you can say, a'udhu bi. You can ask for isti'adah from anything. Does that make sense? You can say, a'udhu billah, to seek protection from anything. And why do we seek protection from Allah? Because we know Allah has ability, Allah can see, Allah is strong, Allah can save us, Allah can protect us. But these people, they didn't seek protection in Allah. They sought protection in the jinn. So now the jinn heard this. They were like, yo, one second, hold up. When they heard that the humans are asking the jinn for protection, the jinn said, نَرَاهُمْ يَفْرَقُونَ مِنَّا كَمَا نَفْرَقُ مِنْهُمْ. They said, we can see these people are scared of us. And they're trying to run away from us. The same way, we're running away from them. فَدَنَوْا مِنَ الْإِنسِ. When they realized that, what do? They came close to the human beings now. They realized we don't have to be scared of them. They're actually scared of us. So they came close to the humans. فَأَصَابَهُمْ بِالْخَبْلِ وَالْجُنُونِ. And then they inflicted the humans with madness and possession. They started to possess the humans. And then he said, this is what Allah meant when he said in the ayah, وَإِنَّهُ كَانُوا رِجَالٌ مِّنَ الْإِنسِ يَعُوذُونَ بِرِجَالٍ مِّنَ الْجِنِّ. Allah said that there were a group of men from the humans. They started to seek protection and help from the jinn. And then when they did that, the jinn felt, oh my God, they're scared of us. They ask, you wouldn't ask someone for help unless you thought that they were stronger than you, right? They said, the humans, they actually think we're strong. They actually think they're what? We're strong. So they use advantage here. What this shows you, my brothers, is that the jinn are not strong. The jinn are not strong. They are actually scared of the humans, and they are not stronger than the humans. But what they do is that they play on the human's fear, because the human does not see them. Like in the one who believes in Allah, Allah said, فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنِي. Allah said, do not become scared of anyone, only be scared of me. The believer is only scared of Allah, so the believer is not scared of the jinn. And if you're not scared of the jinn, if you're not scared of the shaitan, and you believe in Allah, the shaitan is scared of you. They are so scared of you. I'll give you an example. We all know the famous hadith. When you do the adhan, what happens to shaitan? He runs away. But what did the hadith say? He runs away farting. Because he's so scared. Like if you scare someone, you say, boo, and he just pops a fart. Like, you say to yourself, like the guy really got scared, right? Like he just lost himself. He said that the shaitan is so scared. When you say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, the shaitan runs. He's not just running, he's releasing wind from his backside. He's so scared. Oh my God, adhan came. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, brothers? That makes sense. So don't be scared of the jinn, be scared of Allah. And Allah will protect you. Does that make sense? That's why Allah said, وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا إِذَا مَسَّهُمْ طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الشَّيْطَانِ, that the ones who they believe in Allah, if it touches them, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا إِذَا مَسَّهُمْ طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الشَّيْطَانِ, the ones who believe in Allah, who fear Allah, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا, the ones who fear Allah, إِذَا مَسَّهُمْ طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الشَّيْطَانِ, if it ever touches them, the shaitan ever touches them with possession or madness or whatever have you, yes, تَذَكَّرُوا, they remember Allah, فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْصِرُونَ, then they can see, Allah said. As in, you can't see the jinn, but you can see through the plotting and the planning. When you don't get scared of the jinn anymore, it's like you can see clearly now. But who is this? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا, the ones who fear Allah. They don't fear the jinn. They fear Allah. They don't obey the jinn. They don't obey shaitan. إِلَّا مَنِ اتَّبَعَكَ مِنَ الْغَاوِينَ. They're not the ones who do ittiba of shaitan. They don't follow shaitan, they follow Allah. Why? Because they're not scared of shaitan, they're scared of Allah. Does that make sense, brothers? And that's very important for me to mention to you. Is that making sense? Is that making sense? Okay, good. Now we have to talk about something very important. Can the jinn possess the human being? Can the jinn possess the human being?
Yeah.
I've mentioned it to you, like, and have I given you evidence?
Yeah.
Not clearly, I have indicated it. I have actually given you evidence, but I want to mention to you a clear-cut evidence, okay? Clear-cut evidence. I'll take all your questions at the end, so make sure you write them down, don't forget them. But I'll take your questions at the end. I just want to make sure we finish this, yeah? So, what is the proof that the jinn can possess? Look at this ayah. Allah said, الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ الرِّبَا لَا يَقُومُونَ إِلَّا كَمَا يَقُومُ الَّذِي يَتَخَبَّطُهُ الشَّيْطَانُ مِنَ الْمَسِّ. Allah said the ones who deal with riba. What's riba? What's riba? Huh? Riba is interest, haram money. Interest, credit cards, student loans. So if you want to go to university, you can't go to university and take a student loan. You have to save the money. You have to work hard, save the money. Or you have to get a loan from mum and dad. But if you take a loan from the government, they will charge you interest. That's riba. Riba is war. Allah said, Allah declares war on the one who deals with this kind of money. Does that make sense? Because it's haram. It's filthy money. Interest, credit cards, all that. You don't want to do that. Does that make sense? So, Allah Azza wa Jal said, the ones who eat riba, they take this riba money, Allah said they are going to be punished on the Day of Judgment. What is their punishment like? Allah said when they come out of their grave, on the Day of Judgment, when they're resurrected, لا يقومون إلا كما يقوم الذي يتخبطه الشيطان من المس. They will not come out of the grave, except that they come out as if they've been possessed by the devil. What does a person who's possessed look like? His eyes are flickering all back and forth, his head is moving all around, his body's not in control, he's moving all around, he can't stand, he stands up, he falls, his body's twitching, he's having spasms all over, his body just is out of control, it's just a seizure, like a fit, he's having a fit. Allah said that's what they're going to come out of in their grave. The point here is that Allah described the punishment on the Day of Judgment with jinn possession, which means jinn possession is true. Because why would Allah describe something unless we knew what it was? Does that make sense? So we understand jinn possession. Allah said, the way a person gets possessed in this life, that is how a person who eats riba will stand on the Day of Judgment. And by the way, there is ijma', there is consensus amongst all of the scholars of Ahlul Sunnah that this ayah is talking about jinn possession. Does that make sense? Good. So that is proof that the jinn can do what? They can possess. Brothers, I need to talk to you about something now. Okay? I need to talk to you about something. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentioned something powerful here. He said, notice that Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentioned riba in the context of what? Jinn possession. He said this is an indication that people who deal with riba are likely to get possessed. If you deal with this kind of haram money, you're likely to possess. He actually took it one step further. You know what he said? Do you know what he said? He said people who do sins in general are likely to get possessed. Why? Because riba is a major sin. So riba here is used as an example to represent all of the other major sins. So generally speaking, doing major sins is a reason for you to be possessed by the devil. Now I want you to pay attention to something, yeah? Some of the sins are so bad that wallahi, if you were to do them, the chances of you being possessed are very high. From them is zina. You all know what zina is, right? Zina is haram between a man and a woman. Do you know how bad zina is? Do you know how bad it is? That the Prophet ﷺ said that the iman inside of the believer will come out of his body at the time he does zina. Why? Because the act is so filthy that the purity of iman cannot stay inside of the body whilst the person is engaging in that filthy activity. It just cannot stay. The iman just cannot be inside of the body at that time. So it leaves the body. Now pay attention. We said, what is it that protects you from shaitan in the first place? It's Allah. And Allah protects you based on your iman. So your iman is your protection, it's your shield. When you have iman, you say you have iman, you believe la ilaha illallah, and you implement it, and then you say a'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. Shaitan run away. Allah protects you from shaitan. Lakin your iman has just left your body. So where is your protection gone? Where is your protection? Where is it? It's gone. And at the time when you're doing zina and the iman has left the body, that's the time that shaitan jumps inside the body of the person. That's the time shaitan can jump inside the body of the person. Do you understand? Now pay attention. What if you're not doing zina and you're just hanging around with the girl? Just sitting with the girl. Just friends with the girl. The Prophet said there is never a man and a woman that are together, or a boy and a girl that are together, except that shaitan is the third. And what's the shaitan trying to do the whole time? He's trying to make them do the haram. The whole time he wants them to do the haram. And the moment he gets to do the haram, what does he do? What does he do? Jumps inside the body. And it doesn't have to necessarily be zina. A brother came to me once, he told me he was with a girl in a park, and astaghfirullah, he kissed the girl, and he said he felt something jump inside of him straight away. The girl had a jinn, and her jinn jumped inside of him. So be very careful, brothers. The Prophet said the eyes that look at the haram, they look at women that they shouldn't be looking to. The Prophet said those eyes are committing zina. The hand that touches the woman, which is haram for him, she's not his mum, his sister, his niece, his daughter, his grandma, his auntie. Those are the women that are fine to you, your paternal auntie, maternal auntie. If that's fine. But if you touch any other woman, your hands have committed zina. The man who goes to visit a girl with his feet have committed zina. And then you want to be protected by Allah? Does that make sense? Another thing which is an evil sin that causes people to become possessed, my brothers, is what? Is drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol. Allah said in Surah Al-Ma'idah, the thing that takes your mind away, that gets you either drunk or high, intoxicants, which is drugs or alcohol, Allah said these are things that are abominations from shaitan. Shaitan gets you high, he gets you drunk, your mind goes and it jumps inside of you. These are things that are evil, brothers, evil. Cigarettes, very bad. Even though cigarettes are not an intoxicant, but these are things. Now, another thing is music. Allah said, وَاسْتَفْزِزْ مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتَ مِنْهُمْ بِصَوْتِكَ. Allah said to shaitan that he's going to try and terrorize and misguide the people as much as he can with his voice. What is the voice of shaitan? The Prophet's companions, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma and the likes, they said that the voice of shaitan is music. Music is the voice of shaitan. So all day, every day, you got the voice of shaitan in your ears. You're listening to him, 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 you're listening to him. What happens? He jumps inside of you. He controls you. He can't obviously control you completely, but to whatever extent he does control you, he jumps inside of you. And what does he do? What does he do? He destroys your life, man. So don't listen to music. Some people say, oh, but there's Islamic music. That's stupid. There's no such thing as something that's Islamic and haram. He made a song and he put about Allah, but he did it over music. We said it doesn't matter that the song is about Allah. It's still haram. There's music in there. Does that make sense? And music is something that Allah hates. And can you love something that Allah loves and also can you love something that Allah loves and something that Allah hates at the same time? Can you do two opposites at the same time? So then can you love the Quran, which Allah loves, and love music at the same time? No, because the Quran requires you to hate music. The Quran teaches you to hate music. So actually I love the Quran and I follow the Quran, but you've got music in your heart. That's why the scholar said, pick one. Either the Quran or music. If you pick music, Allah said, Adabun Muhin in Surah Al-Rahman, you have you will have a humiliating punishment. If you pick the Quran, إن هذا القرآن يهدي للتي هي أقوى. It will guide you to the best of situations. And there'll be a reason for you to go to Al-Jannah, inshallah ta'ala. Does that make sense? So stay away from music. Stay away from what? Music. Okay. How do you protect yourself from the shaitan? How do you protect yourself from the evil jinn? Let's go through this very quickly, inshallah. How do you protect yourself from the jinn? How do you do it? The greatest thing that will protect you from the shaitan, my brothers, is La ilaha illallah. Tawheed. You know what Tawheed is? What's Tawheed? Tawheed, that means you worship Allah alone and you don't do any shirk. You don't do any shirk. Shirk means you don't worship anyone else besides Allah. You don't make anyone equal to Allah. Why? Because Allah said, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَلَمْ يَلْبِسُوا إِيمَانَهُمْ بِظُلْمٍ. Allah said, the ones who believe. And then they do not mix their iman, they don't mix their belief with shirk. Dhulm here is shirk. The Prophet said, إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. He explained it with that other ayah. That this oppression here is shirk. So the ayah is, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, the ones who believe, وَلَمْ يَلْبِسُوا إِيمَانَهُمْ بِظُلْمٍ. Then after they believe, they do not mix their iman with shirk. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمُ الْأَمْنُ وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. They are the ones who Allah has granted safety. They have safety. This is not just safety from the jinn. This is safety from all evil. Safety from being attacked on the streets. Safety from bad things happening to you. Safety from magic. Safety from evil eye. Safety from the hellfire. And safety from the jinn. If you want to be safe, you know nowadays we hear about people getting stabbed. There's a lot of stabbings. A lot of people get robbed, mugged. Come with Tawheed. Allah said, أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمُ الْأَمْنُ. They have safety. وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. And they will be guided. So the first thing is, La ilaha illallah. The ones who do shirk, shaitan can control them. Look what Allah said. Allah said, إِنَّمَا سُلْطَانُهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ يَتَوَلَّوْنَهُ وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ بِهِ مُشْرِكُونَ. Allah said that the authority that shaitan has is, and the ones are the ones who what? They do shirk. So some people, they try to seek protection through a ta'weez. What's a ta'weez? Who knows what a ta'weez is? It's a little thing that people wear, right? A little necklace and there's some words in it. Sometimes they say there's Quran in there. Whether there's Quran or not, it's still not allowed. But majority of the time they say Quran is not even a Quran in there. They wear it, or sometimes they wear the little bracelets with the little eye. They say it's for protection. Do you not know about these things? Sometimes even mom and dad might give it to you. You say, mom and dad, this is wrong. I can't do this. Why? Because Allah said, you're trying to protect me from shaitan. Allah said in the ayah, shaitan has authority over the ones who do shirk, and this is shirk. Who said shirk? The Prophet said shirk. The Prophet said, Man wukila ilayh, man ta'allaqa shay'an, faqad ashrak. Whoever wears one of these necklaces, the Prophet said he done shirk. The Prophet said he done shirk. Whoever wears a ta'weez, whoever wears a tamima, whoever wears a hirsi, whoever wears these amulets, whoever wears these medallions, the Prophet said, faqad ashrak. He's done shirk. And Allah Azza wa Jal said, إِنَّمَا سُلْطَانُهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ يَتَوَلَّوْنَهُ وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ بِهِ مُشْرِكُونَ. Shirk. Shaitan has control. Shaitan has authority over the ones who do shirk. Shaitan possesses them. Shaitan destroys their life. Shaitan ruins them. Shaitan controls them. Does that make sense? There's many ways to protect yourself. Another way to protect yourself is to stop doing sins. Allah said, إِنَّ عِبَادِي لَيْسَ لَكَ عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَانٌ إِلَّا مَنِ اتَّبَعَكَ مِنَ الْغَاوِينَ. Allah said to Iblis, Allah said that Iblis, that you do not have any authority. Allah basically explains that the shaitan will not have any control over the slaves of Allah. He can't come to the slaves of Allah, the humans, the slaves. Allah's protected them. He can't come. Except for one group, Allah said. One group of humans, shaitan will come to them. مَنِ اتَّبَعَكَ مِنَ الْغَاوِينَ. The ones who follow shaitan from the ghawin. And the scholars here, some of them said this is sinners. The ones who have gone astray. The ones who are the deviators. They're sinners. They smoke weed. They talk back to their parents. They listen to music. They have haram relationships. They watch filthy things online. They swear. They're rude to each other. They're backbite. They're bad-mannered. مِنَ الْغَاوِينَ. They follow the shaitan. Because they're following shaitan, of course shaitan has control now, isn't it? Shaitan didn't have to say anything. You just started following him. So these people, they are the ones that can be what? Possessed by who? Shaitan. So far we learned Tawheed is what protects you from shaitan and jinn and possession and magic, because you have complete safety. Sins, if you stay away from them and you do good deeds, then shaitan cannot harm you. And the last and final thing, Allah said, Azza wa Jal, that shaitan was, when he was speaking to Allah and shaitan was saying how he's going to misguide the people and take them to the hellfire, shaitan mentioned that I'm going to misguide your slaves, but there's one group, Allah, that I cannot come close to. I can't harm these people. Allah said, إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. Allah said, it is your slaves, the ones who have sincerity, the exclusive sincere slaves. So what that shows you, my brothers, is worship Allah and do it with sincerity. Pray with sincerity. Give charity with sincerity. Who gets pocket money here? Give charity. Even if it's £1, even if it's 50p. Whatever you can. Don't ever think a small deed has a small reward. A small deed can have a big reward if you do it sincerely for the sake of Allah. Fast Monday and fast Thursday. Outside of Ramadan. And Ramadan, fast all of it. Do not miss your 5 daily prayers. Pray your sunnah on top. Pray, worship, ibadah with sincerity. Shaitan can't come close to you. He can't come anywhere near to you. Does that make sense?
Yo,
what's going on, bro?
yeah, I got the thing.
What? How much is in there?
20 mil.
You being serious?
Yeah, hold that. It's yours now.
You guys are probably wondering how this dusty looking camera is worth 20 mil. Let me break it down for you. About 6 years ago, some brothers and sisters gave us about £600 in order for us to purchase this camera to make da'wah videos. 6 years later, alhamdulillah, we made well over 1,000 videos and we reached over 20 million plus views on YouTube alone, without taking into account all the other social media platforms that we're on. So those people at the time when they gave that money, I don't think they had any idea that £600 that they gave was gonna go towards a camera that would reach 20 million people who watch videos and they changed their lives after having watched them, who watched these videos and started praying, who watched these videos and accepted Islam. Can you imagine if they were sincere, the kind of reward that they're going to get on the day of judgment, inshallah ta'ala? But now here's the issue. This camera is 6 years old. I mean, there's cracks in it, it's breaking, it's well past its sell by date. We're trying to take things up to the next level. In order to do that, we need a new camera. In fact, we need more than one. We need more equipment. We need to actually hire a bigger media team. But all of this stuff, it comes with expenses, it comes with costs. And over the next 6 years, inshallah ta'ala, we're looking to reach well over 20 million people. Now look, I'm going to be direct with you. I'm about to ask you for some money to put towards the da'wah for the sake of Allah. But before I do that, I want to tell you some figures, some statistics to show you the kind of reward that you might be looking at, inshallah, if you come with sincerity and the donation. Just take a look at the kind of numbers we have over the last 90 days. Over the last 90 days, we received over 1.4 million views on our YouTube channel alone. That's 466,000 views every 30 days. That's 15,555 views per day. That's right. You could be in your sleep, sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours a day, however much you sleep, and you're just earning a reward, inshallah ta'ala. Why? Because you gave a bit of money that went towards a very big project. Now, with that 15,000 odd views a day, if you average that out across 6 years, which is the lifespan of this camera, do you know how much reward that is, inshallah? That's 34,065,450 views. I don't know about you, but that kind of reward, I need that in my life. This is not the kind of opportunity that we should be passing up, especially if you've got sins. The Prophet ﷺ said that giving charity wipes away sins the way that water, it extinguishes fire. So look, say no more, inshallah ta'ala. I don't feel like I should have to convince you towards giving to a project like this anymore. If you want that kind of reward, you want the da'wah to spread, you want la ilaha illallah to spread across the internet, inshallah ta'ala, then you want to give at the link below to this project. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Remember, 20 mil, yeah? And that's on YouTube alone.